Hello and welcome back to my channel eMath. I am Asma Siddiqui and the topic for today is rational numbers. We have already studied about integers and in that I explained you what natural numbers and whole numbers are. So as per the discussion in those videos, I told you that natural numbers is the smallest set of numbers as it begins from 1 and has all the positive numbers. Then we talk about whole numbers. Whole numbers is another set of numbers in which 0 is also included. 0 and along with the set of natural numbers forms whole numbers. Then we also spoke about integers in which the whole numbers were there, but along with the whole numbers we also spoke about the negative numbers and that formed the integers. So as we look at this diagram, we have natural numbers as the smallest set of numbers. I'll encircle it. Then we have whole numbers. By seeing the circle you can make out that whole numbers has natural numbers also in it. How we can say that? Whole numbers have natural numbers, but since there is an inclusion of 0 in it, that's why the name has been given 0 to it. When we talk about integers, we had whole numbers in it, which already had natural numbers in it. But what happened in integers? We had negative numbers also. So we have positive set, we have a negative number also. And 0 is already there because 0 is a part of a number line, as I told you in my video of integers. Let's talk about whole numbers. I'll just give you some examples of whole numbers. It is 1, 2, 3 and 0, of course, the most important, which makes it a whole number. Whereas in natural numbers you have counting numbers. We call natural numbers as counting numbers because whenever we start off counting, we start from 1 and not from 0. Then we talk about the bigger set of number, which we can call as rational numbers. So in rational numbers, I'll just tell you what rational numbers are. Rational numbers are always written in the form of P by Q, where Q should never be equals to 0. Here P and Q are just the numerators and the denominators, where the denominator can never be 0 because the value will be not defined if the denominator is 0. Integers are a part of rational numbers, but the converse is not true. Like if I write here 5 upon 3, or I can also write 1 upon 2. These are rational numbers, but if I say 5 upon 3 is an integer, it won't be, because when you're going to solve it, you're going to get a decimal number, which cannot be an integer. So if we talk about only rational numbers are numbers that are always written in the form of P by Q, where P is the numerator and Q is the denominator, and Q is never equals to 0. So as I told you that every integer is a rational number, but every rational number is not an integer. Similarly, every rational number is a fraction, but again the converse is not true. So let's write down a rational number. Let's say 7 upon 11. Here 7 is the numerator and 11 is the denominator. Now let's talk about whether it's a positive rational number or a negative rational number. So a rational number, if it is positive, then both of this, the numerator and the denominator, have to be either positive or both of them have to be negative to say that this rational number is a positive rational number. Even if it is written like -3 upon -7, it will be considered as a positive rational number because it has two negative signs which can get cancelled, and the final value will be a positive rational number. Now let's have a look at an integer and see whether it is going to be a rational number or not. So I'll just write a -5 a positive 2 and a 0. Can we say that these are rational numbers? Yes, they are rational numbers because we can write them in the form of p by q. What we need to do is we just need to add a denominator, and that denominator will be 1, which will not change its actual value also, and it can become a rational number also. So if in case it has been asked to you all that how to write an integer or a whole number as a rational number, you just need to put a denominator 1 to make it a rational number. Similarly, you can write 2 upon 1, and similarly 0 upon 1 will also be a rational number. This is how we can express an integer or a whole number as rational numbers. Now let's talk about rational numbers on number lines. How to represent rational numbers on number line. Children often get confused how to mark the fractions or the rational numbers on a number line. So let me write down some fractions or rational numbers and see how are we going to mark it. Let's take minus 3 upon 2, minus 1 upon 2, positive 1 upon 2, positive 3 upon 2. Let's take these 4 rational numbers and represent them on a number line. So first of all, we will draw a number line. Now let me tell you the importance of a number line and also the important features of it, that what is essential whenever you are drawing a number line. Your number line should have arrows at both the ends. This is the first thing you need to do when you are drawing a number line. Then see the rational numbers that are being given to you. Sorry, I wrote 3 here. It's a 2. Now if you see them, all are having denominator 2, so we don't need to make them like fractions. What we need to see is the denominator. Here the denominator is 2. That means we have negative numbers also. Let me mark a 0 at the center. 0 is neither positive nor negative, so we are not going to mark any sign here. Like positive ones doesn't have any sign. Similarly, 0 is a neutral number, it doesn't have any sign. Now, we have minus 1 upon 2, we have minus 3 upon 2. So, what you need to do is just see the denominator and mark the integers first. This is the marking of the negative integers, and here we'll mark the positive ones. Now, if we see the denominator, it is 2. That means when you take the 2 integers, you need to divide them into 2 equal parts. That means between 0 and 1, it is going to have 2 equal parts, and each part will be having a denominator 2. So this is 1 upon 2, minus 1 upon 2, and then this will be minus 2 upon 2, which will be equals to minus 1, and then again when you will move, you will have minus 3 upon 2, and then you will get a minus 4 upon 2, which will be equals to minus 2. So by just seeing the denominator, you have to make out that how many parts are going to be there between 0 and 1. So that's how I have divided them. I have just made 2 parts between 2 integers and written 1 upon 2, 2 upon 2, 3 upon 2, 4 upon 2, and so on. Since we are marking the negative 1, so we are moving towards the left hand side. So we were asked to mark 1 upon 2, so here it is minus 1 upon 2, and here it is minus 3 upon 2. Now let's move on to the right hand side of the number line, as we have to mark the positive rational numbers also. And the same thing will be followed there also, because all the rational numbers are having 2 as a denominator. So between 2 integers, you are going to divide them into 2 equal parts. So this will be 1 upon 2, and this will be 2 upon 2, which will be equals to 1, and then 3 upon 2. These 2 rational numbers were to be marked on the number line. Now, I told you one essential feature, that it has to have arrows. Second thing is, you need to maintain the gap between each number. The gap between each number, rational number, have to be same, and the numbers that have been asked to mark on the number line, they should have an extra number on the either sides. You cannot just mark the main numbers and you skip other numbers. You don't write them because they are not required. No. For a number line, you need to mark an extra number on both the ends. then only it will be considered a perfect number line. So this is how we we mark rational numbers on a number line. Now I'll talk about comparison of two rational numbers. Now comparison can be done in two ways. One way is to take the LCM and make the fractions like, and the other way is to cross multiply and do it. So I'm going to show you both the methods at how you can compare the two rational numbers. So the first method, I'm going to make the denominator same. So if we take the LCM of 5 and 7, we are going to get 35. Now both are prime numbers, so you can simply multiply them and find the LCM. So 5 upon 7 can be written as 25 upon 35. So this one is an equivalent fraction to it. Just the thing is the denominator is 35 now. And similarly we are going to do it for 3 upon 5 also. And this we will multiply by 7 upon 7. So that we get a denominator 35 here also. Now when you compare 25 and 21, you just have to see the numerators. If the numerator is bigger, that means the rational number is also bigger. So in these two cases, we have 25 upon 35 as bigger. That means 5 upon 7 is bigger than 3 upon 5. Make sure when you are writing the final answer, it has the actual value. Don't compare these two, because we have been asked to compare the rational numbers that are given in the question. Although these one are the equivalents, but this will be considered as the proper answer. Now, I'll show you the second method, which is also an easy one. Just write down the two fractions and cross multiply. So when you are cross multiplying this 5 into 5, write down here so that you know that you are getting the value here for this fraction. And when you will multiply 7 into 3, write down here so that there is no confusion. Oh my god, that why 5 into 5 is here and 7 into 3 there. It is a rule. Then when you are multiplying the numerator of the left hand side, you will write down the answer here. So that is 25. And when you see here, it is 21. So if you again compare, 25 is coming bigger. That means 5 upon 7 is bigger than 3 upon 5. That's how we compare rational numbers. So that's it for today. I have explained you representation of rational numbers on number line and also how to compare the rational numbers. We'll continue with more in the next video. Thank you so much for watching, and please do subscribe my channel. Have a good day.